Hello and welcome once again to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat. Today we are going to talk about the importance of travel insurance. Now, travel insurance is crucial, especially when one is traveling abroad. It covers a lot of areas, including loss of baggage and hospitalization. Now, to understand this sector a little better and how to get the best travel insurance, we have Yashish Dhaya with us, co-founder and CEO of Policy Bazaar. Thanks for joining us on the show, Yashish.
Thanks,
now, tell me, what is travel insurance and how is it important?
See, whenever you travel abroad, in case somebody falls sick, in case there is a mishap, a death or an accident, a personal accident, in case the person hurts someone else by mistake, there's a liability that arises out of that. In case his possessions are either lost or delayed in transit, there is a loss that gets created out of that, including his passport sometimes. And in case his trip gets delayed for unforeseen circumstances, or his flights get cancelled, or he misses the connecting flight, all of these areas essentially get covered under most travel insurance policies. There are a few travel insurance policies which have a few extras, but this is the essence of travel insurance. And these events do happen, when one is traveling, and in that case, it'll be quite important to have this policy.
So, what are the different kinds of covers which are available right now? And traditionally, one has thought about travel insurance as, you go to an agent and you get your visa and the person says, all right, I recommend this one, or doesn't even say that. He says, I've given you this travel insurance. Is that the right way to go about buying a travel insurance plan?
I think the way one should go about buying their travel insurance plan is they should research. There are, Tata, EIG, ICICI, Bajaj, there are quite a few options out there. One should also look at the reputation of the company abroad, not here. Because when you face this challenge, it's not the local company from India which will be supporting you, it's the company abroad that will be supporting you.
But how does one actually do that?
Because there are a few companies that are very large abroad. For example, in most of Europe, Allianz is a big organization. AIA is a big organization in the Americas. Lombard is a big organization in Canada. Now, this information, I don't expect every individual to have, but they should think about it, because to an extent, the kind of support structure that they do receive, while most companies will have, their third-party administrators and connections, but the larger organizations are able to give a slightly higher support. And that larger organization does not necessarily be large in India. It has to be large in that particular country. So that's a bit relevant.
So let's take a step back and go into the specific features of travel insurance, and also the distinction between the health component and the travel part. If you could just explain that a bit more.
Sure. So see, while travel insurance, so let's go into the different kinds of travel insurance. What is covered? So there are broadly three kinds of travel insurance. There's a student travel insurance. There is normal travel insurance, and then there is a senior citizens travel insurance. In the normal travel insurance, you will also have single trip and multi trip. Single trip being, one trip, you go and come back, extending up to 180 days. And a multi trip would be, you go multiple times. Each time you can go for 45 days, and overall you can do 180 days in a year, but it can cover multiple trips. Now, what one needs to think about is what are the different kinds of things that you will be covered in each of these plans. As I said, in case a person falls sick, that is covered. In case a person has an accident, a personal accident, that is covered. In case a person creates some kind of liability for somebody else, it can happen in many ways. You're driving a car, you hit somebody. You're walking on the road, you hit somebody. You accidentally drop a bike on someone. All these things happen. Of course, you can't do it voluntarily, so voluntary actions are not covered, but accidental actions are covered. In case you are at the airport and your baggage gets delayed by a few days, you will have certain costs associated with that. You'll have to get clothes, you'll have to organize your things. Imagine if one of those things is your passport, then you're in serious difficulty. All those kind of costs are covered, and those become fairly important to you. In case you are traveling from, let's say, here to the US, and your flight gets delayed, and because of that you miss your connecting flight, you will have to book another flight. That cost will be covered under travel insurance. So some of these are fairly important. In fact, I was once traveling in Switzerland, and I lost my camera and a few other things. Till then, I did not even know that these things can actually be covered under travel insurance. I got about 850 pounds back for the loss of all those things. I lost my passport as well. And I got some monies back for that, and I was quite surprised. I didn't know all these things are actually covered under travel insurance until then.
Well, that's a really good thing. But what about senior citizens? I mean, are there anything specific that they should be looking at when they buy travel insurance?
Okay, so senior citizens and students are two groups that have certain special needs. So mostly you would get travel insurance up to the age of 70 years. If you're over 70, you have to ask the insurance company if they're willing to cover you. Some underwriters may cover, some underwriters may not cover. And it may depend, they might even ask you for medicals and then provide you the cover. Typically, pre-existing diseases are not covered. And that's the big difference between a normal health insurance plan and a travel insurance plan.
So it's the emergencies that
it's the emergency. So it's not like, your heart is not feeling well and you want to go and get a heart surgery, so take a travel insurance, go abroad and get a heart surgery done. No, it doesn't work that way. But if you have a heart attack while you're on the trip there, then
it'll be covered.
It'll be covered. So it's important to kind of understand that.
And the expenses abroad can be huge.
Very, very huge. My grandfather went to a hospital for about 1.5 hours, and the cost was $10,000.
Wow.
In 1.5 hours. And the total cost came to about $20,000 after they went somewhere else also. Now, as far as students are concerned, there are a few special needs that they have. Of course, the normal things that we mentioned in travel insurance are covered, but there are a few extra things. Imagine if the student has a medical problem because of which he cannot complete his course. Then the fees for the remaining part of the course are covered under something known as a student bond. In case a student gets sick and his parents have to travel, that gets covered in certain situations, because if it's an emergency and the parents are needed there, then their travel cost will be there, and that is covered under travel insurance policy for the students. So there are certain unique features about students and senior citizens which do help.
So then how does student insurance work? When you say that you get yourself insured from India, a lot of universities and colleges abroad will say that you have to get insurance from that particular university or that particular state.
So see, in most cases, insurance from India works, unless that university has a special deal with unless the university is basically being a bit funny, let me put it that way. So essentially the university is trying to make money on that insurance, or that insurance company has locked in that university into some kind of a deal. It should not have any problem taking a student insurance cover from another country, because it's not the company here which is providing you the cover. The cover is actually being provided to you by the company there. So imagine if you bought a Tata AIA cover, you would not get it from here. You would actually be getting it from a AIA in the US or in the European markets. You won't get it from Tata per se.
But what about there is a limit of 180 days abroad, and students of course go for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. So how does that work?
So a student cover works up to 2 years. It's not a 180-day cover. So that's a big difference. A student cover works all the way up to 2 years. So you can take a cover and it will last 2 years rather than 180 days.
So Yashish, now what are some of the interesting, special features that have come out? After all, it is a developing sector. Insurance companies are coming up with plans, and also what are some of the limitations that travel insurance has?
See, let's talk about the limitations, and I'll come to the special features as well, because there are a few interesting ones. So limitations are, as I explained, this is not a medical insurance per se. So it is not, like you have a condition and you go abroad and take a travel insurance, get it, corrected. There are limitations in the number of days that you can travel. Usually a single trip is 45 to 90 days. A multi-trip is 180 days. You also have a sum assured. You have to be very cognizant of the sum assured you're taking. See, the minimum sum assured you can take is $10,000. Maximum is $500,000. This is such a low cost policy that if you are taking the trouble of buying one, please buy as expensive a one as possible.
What would the range be?
The range is $10,000 to $500,000.
In terms of the insurance premium that you're paying for?
The insurance premium you're paying for is from a few hundred rupees. It can go up to maybe 2,000-3,000 rupees. It's not much more than that. Now, the reason I say it's very important you have a larger cover, when accidents happen, specifically in the USA or in Japan, the costs go up very fast because the cost of medical there is very high. So I think those are some of the limitations around these particular plans. Come to some special features. So there are some interesting ones. So Bajaj Allianz has one where if you're a golfer and if you hit a direct hit, so basically a hole in one, then you need to buy a round of drinks for your friends, and Bajaj Allianz would pay for that. So you do have some interesting variants out there, which one
So
can
if
go
you're a
for.
very avid golfer and you're pretty
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
you should get
Yeah.
that plan.
Yeah.
And what about the costs? I mean, are the costs different in different for different parts of the world that you're traveling in?
Yes, since the cost of medication is different and the cost of litigation is different in many parts of the world, so depending on where you're traveling, you need to declare that up front. So if you're traveling, and there are basically 4 geographies. So there is USA, there is Asia excluding Japan, there is Japan, and then there is pretty much the rest of the world is the same. There's not much distinction. Countries like the European market will ask you to have an health insurance in advance, and it's mandatory before you travel there.
But other countries don't really ask for it.
No, see,
But
in
it's
the
strongly recommended.
it's
And
strongly
that's-
recommended, but it's not compulsory in some countries. So you could go to the US without travel insurance, but that's because the state system or the state support system in the US is not so strong, and they will not take liability if something happens to you. Whereas in Europe, mostly, if you did not have travel insurance and you fell sick, the state system is such that they would automatically take care of an emergency. They would not, let you be on your own, and these emergencies cannot really be paid for. So that is exactly why the travel insurance, there is made mandatory, because otherwise the cost comes on the government automatically, whereas it does not in the US. In the US, you'll be left to yourself. You will have to pay.
And in terms of the experience of people actually making claims for travel insurance, what has that been like? I mean, do we have any indication?
So see, this is a pretty profitable industry for the insurers. The claims ratios are quite low, less than 50%. So when you're in that kind of a situation, insurance companies do not shy from paying the claims. So it's not, most people would not even claim if it's a small amount. Only in serious cases is there a claim, and as I said, the claims ratio is quite low compared to something like in motor, where the claims ratio are 80%, or in health, where they are about 80-90%. It's less than 50%. So it's a profitable sector for the insurance companies, and they do not, they're quite happy to pay claims. Of course, they would check for things like pre-existing diseases, or whether it hits certain benchmarks or certain caps, but otherwise they would go ahead and make the payment.
Right, Yashish, thanks a lot. Now it's time for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to take your questions, and of course, Yashish will be answering those. So do write to us at ask.policybazaar.com or on Facebook/PolicyBazaar India, or you can tweet us on policybazaar_in. So we'll see you shortly after the break. Welcome back. We're taking your questions now. We've got Amresh Mahajan from Mumbai, and he says, I'm traveling to South Africa and wanted to check if the travel insurance policy also covers loss of passport. Yashish.
Yes, loss or delay in baggage, including loss of passport, is covered under travel insurance. So of course it would be covered.
And how easy would the claim be?
See, you have to make a claim. See, there are 2 kinds of claims. One is a medical claim, where you will have a certain expense, which would be you would never have to pay. It'll be cashless. However, something like a passport, you would essentially go through the cost of getting your passport reissued, which may be a few $100 or a few £100, whatever the case be. But then you would put in that claim, and it'll get reimbursed. It'll typically take about 45 days or so for the money to come into you, but it does come in.
But there are features that at least I've heard about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Emergency cash. So a lot of them say that we'll give you emergency cash. Is that a feature of travel insurance?
They can provide emergency cash, as long as that is one of the things mentioned in the travel insurance. It has to be mentioned, because it's not always there.
It's a rider.
It's a rider. Now, what you have to understand is, as I said, in certain cases they will be cashless. And that is usually when you have to undertake an expense to get something done at a hospital, etc. But in most government cases, like passport, you wouldn't have a cashless facility.
Nice.
You would take on the cost, and then you would claim for a reimbursement.
Right. We've got SS Korean from Kochi, and he says, I just returned from Dubai and found that one of my checked baggages was missing after a lot of haggling. Was able to retrieve it after 10 days, but there was a loss of content. I wanted to check if one can claim under both the sections of loss of checked baggage as well as the delay of checked baggage.
See, you can claim under one. Either you've lost something or it's been delayed. If it's been delayed, depending on where it's been delayed, logically you are paid a certain amount per day or a certain replacement cost. Also, beyond a certain period of time, a delay is as good as a loss. But you cannot claim both, obviously. You've either got a delay or a loss. You can't claim both.
There you go. And we've got Arpan Singh Chaudhary from Chandigarh, and he says, I'm traveling for 14 days to Dubai from the 14th of Jan along with my family. My age is 37, his wife is 33, and he's got 2 kids, 5 and 3 years old. And what would you advise him on insurance policy? What's the best and how should he go about it?
I think he should look at a few policies, read through their details, but I would suggest to him either the Bajaj Allianz one.
So is there a family policy per se or individual?
Of course there are family policies and individual policies, but most of the travel insurance is actually individual policies, but you can get family covers as well. He should look at the Bajaj Allianz one or the Tata AIG one. Both of these are quite good, or the ICICI Lombard one. I think these 3 companies are quite active in the travel space. Cholamandalam has a good plan. Royal Sundaram has a good plan. So he should look at these. Now he should not go. I just want to make this very important point, because I know Royal Sundaram is a slightly smaller brand compared to Bajaj and ICICI here, but RSA is a very big insurance company, which is the company that's the back end of Royal Sundaram.
And that's the point you made, that the insurance companies should be big in that particular part of the world that you're traveling.
Absolutely. So RSA is a very big company abroad. So, one can always think about such
inherent advantages in taking a plan like that. All right. We've got James Ray from Kolkata, and he says, I'm in business and I need to travel frequently for work. Now, is there any travel insurance which can cover me for multiple trips?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can just take a multi-trip policy instead of a single trip policy. Again, Tata has it, ICICI has it. I would advise for anybody traveling more than 2-3 times a year, they should take a multi-trip policy. First of all, it's less hassle. So you don't have to go through the hassle of getting it.
Is there a cost advantage to that?
There is a certain cost advantage. Once you start doing more than 3 trips, there's a clear cost advantage. See, typically, I'm giving a very, very rough rule of thumb. A multi-trip policy is about 2 to 3 times the price of a single trip policy. But that's a very rough rule of thumb. But
so I mean, one really has to figure out that, all right, if I'm traveling more than 3 or 4 times, it certainly makes sense to have.
Remember, in a travel policy, when the policy itself is going to cost you just, under 1,000 rupees, there is a certain amount of pain of, buying something of that sort. So might as well just do it once for the whole year, if you are going to travel more than 2 times or so.
Right. We've got JMD Veera Moily from Chennai, and he says, how can I extend my policy if it gets extended due to an unexpected reason? I guess what he's trying to ask is that if his trip gets extended, then how can he get that?
Yeah, so a single trip policy will have either a 45-day or a 90-day cover. In case your trip is going to extend beyond that for unforeseen circumstances, then you need to have a policy that allows extension. Up to 7 days of extension is usually allowed because of unforeseen circumstances, and that's perfectly fine. But he has to see if that rider is available in his particular policy, and not every policy allows it.
Right. Before we wrap up the show, Yashish, can you go through a checklist of areas that our viewers need to keep in mind when they are traveling?
I think one of the things that is very important is to be aware of what all can happen, because it's risk awareness that usually allows you to make a better judgment of what you should and should not do. One has to be aware that accidents do happen abroad. People do fall sick abroad just as they fall sick here, and the expenses of these are very high. Baggage does get lost, both before lost as well as delayed. It's quite common. Passports do get lost. You can have a liability because of certain action which you may not even realize. Very simple stuff. My grandfather in the US went and pinched a child on his cheek. That leads to a liability, because in the US you're not allowed to do that. Now, he didn't know that, but in the US there's a very strict law against this. So those kind of things, if they do happen, you are covered, and you should think about these risks. Certainly buy a travel insurance plan before you travel. There's some travel insurance plans that also cover your home while you're away. So they automatically provide you a home insurance when
that's
you are away.
interesting.
And that's again an important point. You go for 60 days, something would happen to your house.
So is
and that
there
gets-
is there a particular name to that, or what
it's,
should one
it's just,
ask?
It's just a home insurance cover. It comes as a rider along with it on the travel insurance policy. There are policies that cover hijacks, although I hope it never happens to anybody. And the amounts paid are very small. They just paid about $50 to $300 a day, which is not really the cost of getting hijacked. But yeah. That's
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. But one final question: if a person has bought a single a travel insurance policy for a single trip, and the travel either gets postponed or cancelled, so how should he or she go about it?
Well, if he can provide proof that the travel never happened, the policy can be cancelled or reversed in a majority of cases. Although there's a bit of hassle in that, but it can be done.
It can be done.
Yeah.
All right, that's all in our show. Thanks a lot, Yashish. And in our next show, we'll be talking about house insurance. So do send in your queries at ask.policybazaar.com, or on Facebook. You can write to us on /PolicyBazaarIndia, or you can tweet us on @PolicyBazaar_in. And that's all from me on Policy Bazaar. We'll see you next time.